Hey there, sports fans. Mike Crook coming at you with another episode of Laces Out. In this episode, it's actually going to be another short one just because we've been dealing with a lot of complications this last week. My son Trey and I, we were in a car accident on the 6th, and we've been dealing with the repercussions of that. Still recovering injury-wise. Every day's a fun day. And also all the fun BS that goes along with being in an auto accident. But we're here, we're pressing on. So, that being said, we're really just going to be touching on the Heisman finalists and the Heisman Trophy ceremony coming up on Saturday. Now, at the time of this recording, it is Friday, December 13th, and obviously the 4 finalists have been announced, and we have who we think is going to win and who we want to win as well, and we'll touch on that later, as well as just our picks for the Army-Navy game. So, stay tuned. Okay, so first things first, 2024 Heisman ceremony coming up on Saturday the 14th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. We will absolutely be watching this in our household and more than likely even be filming our reactions to when the winner is announced. We'll put that on TikTok probably later that night or early Sunday morning, so stay tuned for that. And of the 4 finalists, we obviously have Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty. These are probably the runaway candidates for 1 and 2. Follow that, you have Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward, who, not going to lie, both of them do have great stats on the year, but I don't see either of those two being one of the top 2 picks for the Heisman. So right now, of those 4, we're going to throw graphics up on the screen here to kind of maybe pin this on down on who we have our picks. In the 4 spot, I'm predicting Cam Ward gets number 4. His stats in the year, he's got over 4,100 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 67% passing completions, 7 picks, almost 200 yards rushing, and 4 rushing touchdowns. Honestly, not a bad record on the year, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem quite Heisman-esque compared to the other 3 competitors. Next up, Dylan Gabriel, Oregon Ducks quarterback. Yes, he has fewer passing yards than Cam Ward, as he's only sitting at, over 3,500 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 73% completion percentage, only 6 picks on the year. His rushing yards, 192, with 7 rushing touchdowns. Very impressive. Now, this is where it gets a little dicey, because this is where personal preference is actually going to supersede possible, maybe statistical popularity. You never know. Our number 2 spot, we're actually going to give this one to Ashton Jeanty, Boise State running back. Yes, his team is in the college football playoffs, along with the Oregon Ducks, but in any other year, if there wasn't a Travis Hunter, hands down, Ashton Jeanty runs away, literally and comically, the Heisman Trophy. Kid's got 344 carries for almost 2,500 yards rushing on the year, 29 touchdowns. He also has 20 receptions for 116 yards and a receiving touchdown. Those are insane stats for a single season. And I believe there was a lot of games where they had to pull him because they were just running up the score so much. They're like, you know what, we got to take our starters out of the game. So his stats even could have been better. However, look at the level of competition in the Mountain West. Yeah, you still got to show up and perform every single Saturday. You got to win these games outright, regardless of the level of competition. But would he have had those same level of stats if he was playing in the SEC, the Big Ten, even the Big 12? Who knows? But Ashton Jeanty gets our number 2 spot for the Heisman. Last but not least, obviously we have some bias here because we're big fans of CU and everything that Coach Prime has done in the city of Boulder. That's not the entire reason why we want Travis to win. Obviously, he's a fan favorite in our household, and we would love to see him win. We'd be okay if he took number 2 in place of Ashton. We'd be okay with Ashton winning the Heisman. But solemnly believe that Travis walks away with this one. I mean, he's got 92 catches as a receiver for just over, no, actually not just over 1,150 yards on the year, 14 receiving touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. He also has 31 tackles, 20 of those are solo tackles, 11 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Yeah, I get that CU and Miami, both of these teams are not in the playoffs, but all 4 of these teams are bowl bound. Yes, CU has the worst record, I believe, out of all 4 of these teams. But look at the difference that Travis Hunter makes when he's playing versus when he's not. I believe 2 of CU's 3 losses were in games that he did not play, or did not play a lot, if I remember right. I'd have to look back at the Nebraska game. But I know that he was definitely not in the second half, possibly even in the second quarter of that K-State game when they lost close. So I believe that Travis is a generational talent, a lot like Charles Woodson. Actually, he may even have better stats than Charles Woodson. But this is a generational player. He is a true unicorn, and he absolutely deserves the Heisman Trophy. Put your opinions in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let's have a dialogue. I would love to see what everyone else thinks about this one. But like I said before, we will probably have a reaction video recorded for the Heisman Trophy on Saturday, and we'll post that on TikTok. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, and real quick, the only game obviously on the weekend slate right now is Army-Navy. Army is just leaps and bounds ahead of Army as far as stats. I think they're ranked at, 24th, 25th in the country right now. But either way, and 1 loss too on the year. And Navy has not had the best season. They haven't ended the season as well. They've racked up a couple losses there. But I can't pick Army. Not a huge Army fan, never have been. I'm a military brat, grew up an Air Force brat, always cheered for Air Force, but I have a die-hard love for the Marine Corps. And so because of those 2 factors, I'm picking Navy to beat Army on Saturday. So let's see how that one pans out. All right, there you have it. Another episode of Laces Out is officially in the books. I know this was a really short, brief episode. I'm not sure how long it's going to end up being once we trim all the fat out of this one. But it should be a great weekend of the final piece of hardware is going to get handed out. We'll see who wins the coveted Heisman Trophy for 2024, and we'll see who wins the Army-Navy Showdown. Honestly, I'm not even sure who's even up for the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy this year. Like what the breakdown is on who's won what between the 3 service academies. But either way, if you like the content, we would greatly appreciate it. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. It greatly helps us out. And share it out with all your friends on all the socials. So with that being said, we will see you next time for another episode of Laces Out. Take care.